Okay guys, hi. So first of all I'm going to have to deal with the cover, and she's going to need a bit of a clean, trying to get off 100 years worth of dirt. So I'll give it a clean. You're going to need I've just got some warm water with some dish soap in it and cotton buds just to do a quick test, and a nice soft cloth. So I'm just going to take a cotton bud and just do a little test swab to make sure that I'm not getting any green colour off, that it is just picking up dirt. I've just dipped this into the dishwashing liquid and water. Yep, looks pretty dirty to me. Okay. No green, just a bit of black. So now I've just dipped my cloth into the water. I'm just going to give her a soft clean all over. So I'm just going to fast track this. Okay, she's all clean, and we've got to do something about the spine. So if I take all of this out, all of this paper here is just flaking off, like it tears with barely even touching it. So I'll take off any loose bits that I can, and please remember, there is a disclaimer here. I am not a book expert or a book repair expert. If you want to do this really properly, maybe you should maybe just watch some YouTube tutorials. I know they'll be out there, and I guess you'll see what happens to this one by the end of all of these episodes as to whether it withstands or not. But I'm pretty happy I've got a track here to do, so I'll just get the rest of this paper off, and I will just fast forward this a little bit for you. Okay, now I've got all the bits and pieces off. I'll grab some calico, and I just want to, I guess, strengthen the joins from the spine connecting the front board to the back board. I'm just going to cut a nice strap, well, rip it, because that way it is ripping against the weft and the warp, which means that it should be straighter than if I could cut it. Just need a little bit so that it's wide enough for the spine and to go over the join and connect to the front and the back board. Just going to use Mod Podge and potentially a little bit of a thicker PVA. Just make sure I've got the right size. Cut it to fit. I can always trim it a little bit later. And no, I have never ever done this before, so I don't know if it's going to work. Like I said in my project reveal, sorry, come and join me, whether it's going to work or not. Failures, successes, it's going to keep it real and film it all. So I'm just going to glue this in. Again, I will slightly fast track this for you. Okay, first mistake of the day. I realised that I probably should take off the front protection page and the back one. Don't ask me if that's what they're actually called. But when I'm attaching the calico to the inside of the book cover, I know it's going to be more secure if I attach it to the actual cover and the actual back, not those additional pages. So I'm just going to quickly, as you've seen, cut that off and glue this in. And you're going to see me make a mistake in a second again when I glue the other side, and I forget to take that cover page off as well. So keeping the mistakes in so that you guys can avoid them if you decide to do it this way. Yes, thank you, Needles. Welcome. Hello, everybody, says Needles. Just going to put some masking tape to join this together just temporarily while I glue that middle piece of calico in, and I'm just going to de-adhesive this masking tape a little bit by getting some towel fluff on it, and then I'll just hold it together and pop the masking tape on here. I'm just going to make sure that the calico goes into that crease as best I can. Like I say, who knows if this is going to work, we'll see. I am doing a voiceover here, but at this point I had no idea if this was going to work. I've never done this before, so my fingers were crossed. And here I go, re-gluing the same piece of paper that I should have removed from the first one. Sara-Lee, remove the cover page. Sara-Lee, no, don't glue it down. You glued it down. Not listening. Okay, yes, cut the page off. That's the one. Now glue it back down. Okay, now I want to make sure that when the journal is closed, somehow, that this calico insert isn't bulging. So I'm just going to do my best while the glue's still wet to try and make sure that it's sitting into that edging nicely. I do intend on putting another piece of board, which you will see soon, into that spine just to super strengthen it. You don't have to do this step because it is going to make the spine straight, not curved, but at the end of this I also want to make a hidden signature. I don't want the signature threads to be shown on the outside of the journal, so I'm going to need something really sturdy to glue that signature book block into. So I'm going to have a straight spine, but you guys can, if there's another way of doing it that you want to do it that will keep that album curved spine, then that's fine. So I just need to probably allow this to dry standing up in this position, and then when it's dried, the calico won't be able to pull and move. So I'm just going to leave this to dry for a while, and I shall be back. While this is standing, I'm just going to fix a couple of little pieces that I can glue back down. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to touch up the pulled off pieces with a match of acrylic paint. I'm thinking no. I like the rustic. I like that this album looks vintage because it is vintage / antique. So I'm really thinking that I'm going to leave it alone. Please let me know in the comments if you think I should touch it up, but I'm pretty happy at this point to leave it as rustic as it is and just glue down any loose bits that I can see with a little bit of heavy PVA. Here's the little piece that came with the book that I also need to get onto the spine. So by now I have allowed that to dry a little bit to connect. I'm just going to put some glue on here and put it into the spine where it needs to go and match it up as best I can. By the way, my apologies for the lighting. I am doing this at night, so I only have the light of my bedroom light on, not daylight, which I usually do for my junk journal flip throughs. I will do my best to make sure that there's not too many annoying shadows, but I can only do what I can do. And you might see my TV flashing in the background because, like I said, this is a voiceover, so I could craft while I had my TV on and still share with you guys. I'm just going to get my squeezed out damp cloth and just wipe the excess glue off because that will leave a shiny residue and I don't want that. And now I'm going to allow these parts to dry, and I will cut this out now. Okay, now I need to repair that other split part that I did have the masking tape on. Sorry, I took that off, removed that off camera once I had glued that calico into the inside and it had dried. I'm just going to squirt a little bit of my thick PVA into that gap and continually press it down, and hopefully it'll stay there, but it might take another little bit of gluing later. I might have to get some glue that is more appropriate, but we'll see how we go. So I'll just fast track this bit for you. Okay, so now I have got some matte board, which is the thing that I usually make my junk journal covers out of. It's made out of the photo mats that they use for framing photos or professionally framing paintings. You might be able to get it from a gallery and just ask for their offcuts. I got a whole bag of them. So I need to roughly measure the size I'm going to need to put in the spine. So I'll measure the height first, and I'll just measure that, and then I'm going to need to make it fit into the spine but also have a little bit of room so it can still close. So I don't want it to go exactly from the front cover to the back cover. I'm going to need to leave about I want to say 3 or 4 mil either side of this piece of board. Now I'm going to need to measure the width, and once again keeping it real, so I'll fast track this bit for you, but I do it the wrong measurement. It's a little bit too small the first time. So I promised you that I would leave all the boo-boos in because some of the videos make it look like crafters just don't make mistakes, and that is not true. We all make mistakes, and I make mistakes, and I just keep on going. So that is not quite wide enough. I'm going to need maybe another 4-5 mil. So I'm going to recut that, remeasure it, and then recut it. Okay, so I have now recut that, and that is looking much better. I can still close it nicely, but it's also going to hold that spine flat. And as you can see, that is going to make the spine square instead of curved, but that's just personal choice, and I would like it to be more sturdy and the book block to be sewn in really well, rather than worrying about the curved spine. I guess it's just whatever you prioritize more. So I'm just going to add some glue to that. First I'm going to put some heavier PVA. And now I've just put some Mod Podge on, just so that it's a little bit more liquid and it's going to get into that calico. Sometimes it just doesn't, it seems to absorb it and you don't get as much of a good adherence. So I am going to press this down, and I'm going to clip it either side to my cutting mat, and I am going to put a weight in the middle, but I don't actually show you on camera. I've got like a piece of lead that's really, really super heavy, and it's really thin, and I'm just going to put it in so that it helps weigh down the middle of that spine. Now I'm just going to leave it to dry, and this is where I'll have to leave you because I am waiting for some leather conditioner to arrive in the mail, but I will add it to this video, so you'll see it right now. Okay guys, I'm back. This is what I'm going to be using to condition the leather. Sorry that it's taken me so long to post this. You might be able to hear it in my voice, but I've just come back from having COVID. So I'm just going to take a small amount, but
reasonably generous and place it all over the front of the album. And then I'm going to leave it there for a couple of minutes to dry. So I'll just fast forward this process for you. So now I'm just going to leave it for probably 3 to 5 minutes just to let it all soak in, and then I'll come back and polish it. So just using a nice clean dry rag, I'm just polishing in the excess, wiping up any excess, and then I will move on to the spine and the back. Exactly the same process, so I'll fast forward that for you as well. And then, of course, Needles had to come and investigate. So I thought I would just pause here so that you can get some Needles time. Hi, Needles. Yes, polishing leather. Okay, Mum's busy now. And here she is, looking a lot better than she did, a lot more cared for. So I will make sure that, yeah, my cat, she just has to get in on it. That's fine. Hi, Needles. I will post on the end of this the before and after, because it may not look very different, but in the before and after, when I had a look, it has come up quite nicely. Okay guys, that's it from me. Sorry about tooting, and I will see you next time for episode 3.